Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and this is my 7th take. I've tried to make this video 6 times before this time, so let's see if this is the final version. So, as you guys know, I went to an autism assessment on Monday, but it wasn't an official diagnosis or anything. It was just the first step before I actually go to an official diagnosis center. This psychologist has a lot of experience working with ADHD and autistic people, but especially children. But he also has experience with autistic and ADHD adults. And he is ADHD himself, and his daughter is also ADHD. So I kind of trust this guy that, like, if he says that I have autism and ADHD, I kind of believe him. And also the fact that my best friend has said that and my therapist has said that, I'm going to say that I am autistic and ADHD. I have a lot of imposter syndrome about this because it's like, well, I'm not officially diagnosed, so, you know, I'm not sure, but I can't live in this limbo for like a half year or more, you know. I'm going to pretend that I am autistic and ADHD because that's what I am. The only thing that's missing is the official diagnosis. And there are different views on self-diagnosis, which I won't go into in this video. But it's kind of hit me like, okay, so if I have autism and ADHD, that means I'm disabled. And that's not a nice thing to think, but at the same time, it's kind of like a relief, because it's like, oh, so you've been trying so hard your whole life, and then like, you were always trying so hard just to meet the basic requirements of people and the society. So I have actually written down some points because I couldn't make this video. Anyway, so I always feel like I have all this pressure and expectations from society, from work, from my program, and it stresses me out. Basically, I have lived my whole life in order to fit those expectations, and I don't know. The psychologists are all telling me to well, go and work part-time, go down in time, and then they asked me like, oh, if you could choose your ideal workplace, your best future life, what would it be? And it's like, you know, the meme of millennials and Gen Zs are like, I don't dream of labor. I don't dream of labor. I don't. In my ideal life, I wouldn't have to work, okay? I could take a nap whenever I want. I would maybe do something meaningful, but it's not like I would have to go to a job, you know? Even working from home, like, is not fun. I wish in my ideal world, I wouldn't work. So that question doesn't really apply, you know? That doesn't help me. And they're like, well, yes, but okay, so if you need to work, what would that work contain? It's like, I don't know what I need. I've been hiding under everybody else's expectations my whole life. How am I supposed to know what I need and what I want? I don't know what I want. Like, yeah, it's hard because I've been lost my whole life. And now I'm supposed to be the one figuring out the accommodations for myself. And so my latest psychologist appointment, I had a mental breakdown afterwards because he was asking me these questions, and he was like, why did you become a doctor? And I was like, I don't know. What do you think could help you in your work? I don't know. Is there another specialty that would work better? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, And he's like, what is it that upset you when you had the meeting with your boss? And I was like, well, thinking about the future is stressful. And he's like, well, what is it about this future that's stressful? And I'm like, I don't know. And so my whole answers was just, I don't know, and a lot of awkward silences. So it's a thing of, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I need, I don't know who I am. And that's kind of scary for an INFP, especially because the whole part of being who I am is knowing who I am. And it's like, so in some weird way, I know who I am, and at the same time, I don't know who I am, because I've always had to mask my whole life and like be this person that everybody else wanted to be in order to keep going. So I do have the book Unmasking Autism by Dr. Stephen Price. Good book. I have some bookmarks in it. With the thing, a disclaimer that Dr. Stephen Price is a trans man and talks a lot about LGBTQ issues, which I understand that there is a similarity between coming out as LGBTQ and coming out as autistic, and like pretending to be something that you're not. But I think that Stephen tries to equate these things too often, and not enough talking about like how to unmask, which is the whole point of this book, you know. So I'm around halfway in. He's also INTP according to Personality Database, which isn't a great source, but he kind of assumes that autistic people are INTPs, which means that he assumes that autistic people use TI. He doesn't know about any TI, right? But I'm just saying that the way that he explains the autistic mind is very much describing TI, like deliberate construction of systems in our brain. Well, for me, I use TE as my inferior function, but I do use TE. So I often do take the most efficient, but often wrong manner of thinking. I jump to conclusions, which even says that autistic people don't really jump to conclusions. So that part is kind of iffy, but I do recommend that book. So I have been stressed out about my future, and that was why I had my latest mental breakdown, the one from 2 weeks ago. And that time where I cried for several hours at a time, and it wasn't good. It feels like time is moving too fast and I am not keeping up. And the fact that I'm now getting an autism and ADHD diagnosis feels like it's an impediment to me getting forward in life, you know? It's one more thing that will, like I will have to slow down instead of speeding up to catch up all of the years that I've lost. I need to not think of the time in that way. But that's really hard because like, okay, so I'm 28 and I have like the skills of an 18-year-old, you could say. And, you know, I went to make up for lost time. All of these years I spent depressed in bed, you know. I have these things to do. I have places to be, you know, but I can't do that because then I will get into burnout. And I absolutely do not want to be into burnout. That's why I'm doing this whole autism ADHD thing. So, I'm feeling very stressed about my program because my program is 5 years and I've already done 2 years. And I've only done one placement and I need to do several more placements. And I feel most comfortable at my workplace at the GP clinic. I don't feel comfortable going to new places and being there for just a few months, and then just as I start getting comfortable, I need to move back. I also do not like the environment of the hospital where there's a lot of chaos. where there are a lot of do faces all the time. You know, this is a kind of autistic problems, you know. Lots of noise, lots of unpredictability, you know. Because I was talking to the psychologists about my job, and they're like, but why did you become a GP doctor if you're autistic, you know? They're like, GP is like the widest array of disease that there is. And that's not how I think of it, you know, because actually general practice is general, yes, but the way of working is very much the same thing every day. It's very routine bound. It is very much that, like, okay, I come in the morning, I get my papers, I sit down at my desk in my own office, okay, which at the hospital I wouldn't be getting my own office unless I was like the boss of the whole ward, you know, as a specialist doctor. The head doctor gets his own office, but I don't get my own office. So at my GP center, I have my own office. I can do what I want in there. I can work at my own pace with my administration. The patients come to me instead of me coming to them at their hospital bed. I don't really like the system of rounds because, like, you're talking and like everybody can hear what you're talking about, and it's a weird artificial situation. Well, it's a little bit more natural for me to have a person come into my space and tell their story, and then I'm like, okay, but we're going to do this, and then it's kind of a ritual of the patient-doctor meeting. And I know a lot of my patients now. I've been seeing them for 2 years, so like they know me, I know them. There's this kind of trust. I like that. But sure, they have a lot of different problems, but most of the problems are the same common things. I mean, most of the time it's diabetes, it's heart failure, it's migraine headaches, it's backaches, you know, it's neck aches. Maybe they'll have tummy ache, you know. Maybe they'll have wax in their ears or something. And I like a little bit of variety. I have this very laser focus on certain things, but it's not like I need that in the subject of my work, because I find it interesting to figure out what is this. But I do need this predictability of my room. And funnily enough, today my boss was running around yesterday trying to, we got this new furniture for my workplace, and the furniture is like very new and nice, you know, but it's not. Oh my gosh, my neighbor's laughing. I hate her laugh, sorry. Once again, autistic moment. I just cannot stand her laughing. Okay, so what was I saying? We got these new furnitures, and I don't know how to put it in my room for it to like actually work, because it's a kind of like a rolling thingy, and it's not like a regular shelf. And I don't like change. I don't like when my desk is moved from space to place. And so today the nursing assistant, the one who really likes decorating, she, I don't know what type she is. I think that she's like SP type. She really likes doing things all the time, and she likes decorating. And she's like, Ingrid, you never want to change. And I'm like, yeah, no, I like the way things are. And she's like, yeah, but we need to get rid of your like your shelf, your ugly shelf in your room. And I'm like, it's not ugly. And she's like, it is. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't care if my shelf is ugly. I am used to my shelf. But oh well. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, so this person stopped laughing, so I'm glad, because it grinds my nerves. Okay, Well, as I was saying, GP is actually pretty appropriate because I have my own room, I have my own routine, and I have this intimacy with the patients. That is kind of a play. It's not really like actual intimacy, but I can reach some kind of weird understanding between me and my patients, which works pretty well for me. But so I don't know how to accommodate things. And so I was thinking, okay, well, what do I know that I need to accommodate? Well, the psychologists are like, accommodate your work. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. What do I ask for? And they're like, you know that you can take some time off. You know that you can work like 75% or whatever. And for me, it's very difficult to do that because I have such a complex around money. Because my dad, when I was growing up, has control over the finances. My parents were hoarders, so they hoarded objects and money. And I don't understand money. I don't understand the economy. My dad is very, very interested in the stock market and then looking at stocks and numbers, and I just don't understand it. And so I get extreme anxiety about buying things. I go into a store and I'm like, I need to buy this, I need to buy this. And then it's like, I don't buy anything. So, and that happens even with things that are free. Like using up the money on gift cards, it takes me such a long time for me to finally decide to spend the money that's on the gift card, that the gift card expires. And that has happened to me several times. And so it's very hard for me to decide that, okay, I'm going to spend this money to enjoy myself. I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to buy this thing that's going to help my life. I'm going to buy this nice sweater because it looks nice, and not stay in the same sweater all the time. Which, like, for example, this sweater, I don't know how many times you've seen this in the video. And taking time off means I get less money. And I was saying, like, you know, maybe I should just take some of my holidays, those times I'm sick. Sorry, the neighbor. Okay. So anyway, so taking a day sick leave means that I'm losing $200 basically. And I keep thinking like, oh, but it's not worth $200 to take one day off, you know? But that's not the way I should think, because if I don't take that day off, then I probably will get burnt out, and then like I will have to be on sick leave for weeks, you know? It's just hard for me to not earn money and not spend money. I am a doctor, so I do earn a lot of money, but I don't know what to do with money except to keep it and save it in the bank, because I get such anxiety seeing people spending money, you know, and me spending money is like, oh, so I need to have a plan of like, okay, I'm going to buy this thing. It only needs to be one thing. And it doesn't need to cost a lot of money, but I need to go and buy myself fidget toys. So I'm going to go to a toy store, and I've located the toy store. I've been there twice and not bought anything, but now I'm going to go there. It's in Stockholm, and they have a lot of stim toys. So that's something I know how to accommodate. I don't really know how to accommodate at my job. I know, like, okay, at this time, there aren't a lot of people in the lunchroom, so I go and eat lunch then. I can go into my room if I feel like it's too much. I have told my boss that I want to limit my emergencies days to only once a week, so he knows about that. But it's hard for me to know how to accommodate myself further. I want to work 100% because I want to keep moving forward in my residency, and I don't want to like stagnate, you know, and rot in a swamp. But maybe I'll have to, you know, take shorter work days or something like that. it's just that it's different than for burnout, because burnout is supposedly a short period of time that you're burnt out, while autism and ADHD is something that you have your whole life. So it's like, okay, so you're disabled, you were born disabled pretty much, and I've been able to manage to do all of the able-minded things, the neurotypical things, holistic things, and I've managed, but at what cost? That's the thing, is that I can't, it's not sustainable. And will an official diagnosis help? Not really, right? Because the accommodations are coming from me. The state is not going to provide me with any accommodations because they don't find me disabled enough. And the neuro rehab guy told me that I probably would not get any kind of accommodations from them or any kind of help from them, because I wouldn't need the kinds of things that they offer. So I need to figure it out all on my own. Fidget toys are the only thing I can figure out. So an official diagnosis, how would that help me? Well, it would help me to find the confidence to tell my boss exactly what I need, because I don't really know what I need. It would give me a kind of explanation and a way to communicate better with my friends, both online and in real life. A way to make sense of the world for myself. But you know, it's harder to dismiss if you have an official diagnosis. Because if I tell my friends, like, you know, I need clear communication because I'm autistic, then that would really help, you know. I've already started on YouTube here with, like, when people come out of the blue and ask me some weird question that has nothing to do with the content of the video, I get thrown off. But now I ask for clarification rather than like jump to the conclusion that they hate me and haven't watched the video. If they can't reply in a satisfactory way, then, you know, I will stop the conversation pretty much. But, you know, I get some weird comments on my videos. Love you guys, but, you know, sometimes I get weird stuff. And so that's the way that an official diagnosis would help me. It's also very hard for me to like advocate for myself if I don't have an official diagnosis, because I don't really know how to explain why I would need the things I would need. So yeah, that's why I would need the official diagnosis. So, and the last thing, the thing that frustrates me quite a lot is, or like that made me angry, but now I'm kind of like subdued about it, is the fact that I was talking about how, okay, so I'm disabled. I'm disabled in the society, okay? If we think of the social model of disability rather than a medical model, there maybe isn't anything wrong with my head, it's just different from the norm. How that relates to being an INFP, I don't really know, but I am frustrated at people who call it a gift or a superpower, because it definitely doesn't feel like that for me. I don't feel particularly creative because of the autism and ADHD. I don't feel particularly smart because of those things. I don't feel, you know, talented. I didn't get any talent because of these things. Sure, there are people with autism and ADHD who have amazing talents that they may or may not have had because of their autism and ADHD. Like, you know, they can play the piano or have perfect pitch or great memories, or, you know, or ADHD people who like have a lot of energy and that kind of thing. I I feel like I did not get positives out of this. There is a doctor at my workplace who is a for hire doctor, like locum work. He's rental, you could say, and he's autistic. He's only going to be at my workplace for a few months, but he remembers every single patient. Like, we have 13 patients in an afternoon or something, and he will, without writing it down, he will have memorized everybody's name, what their problem is, what their medical history is, and and what he had planned to do with these people. So he definitely has a gift that really helps him in his work. He has a photographic memory, and I wish I had that. But I am grateful that I don't have a learning disability, so I did do well in school, and it has gotten me far in my career. But it's not always like positive that you think it is, you know, because had I had less of intellectual capacity, I would have been diagnosed earlier, and I wouldn't have lived a life, I wouldn't have been able to live the life that I wanted to, but I wouldn't either be able to live the life that was expected of me, you know? But yes, I am grateful for all the things I have. I'm grateful for the fact that I, can think and, am just intellectually like a regular person. I'm not saying that people who are disabled in that sense aren't regular people. I don't know what the word is for somebody who has normal IQ. I have normal IQ, and of course IQ is not really like the end all be all of intelligence. But I can analyze my way through life, you know. I can figure it out, but it's just, I am very lost. So I am grateful that I can figure things out, and I'm not disabled in that sense, because that would have been really hard. I also am grateful that I have a home. I'm going to move, but I will have a home. That I have a family who maybe doesn't understand me totally, but understands me enough. That I have friends. I don't have many friends, but I love my friends deeply, and they love me back. I'm grateful for this YouTube community, because without you guys, like without this channel, I wouldn't have like figured out, there's so many things I wouldn't have figured out without it. And there's so many things that I would have thought were just me, you know, and I would have felt quite alone throughout all this time. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I do have money, even though I don't know how to spend it. I am grateful for just that I have found a job that has meaning to me and that earns me money, and with great colleagues. So I am grateful for a lot of things, but I was feeling quite ungrateful at the beginning of the week, because I was just feeling like, how can this be possible? You know, it's like, you know, I was feeling like, oh, this is unfair, you know, but we are all different. And so the way that I was born different was with autism and ADHD, you know. I also am an INFP. You know, I would never say anything, you know, that that I think it's unfair that I became an INFP. What is unfair is that INFPs are not valued by society, but that's a different thing, you know. So it's like autism and ADHD. Autism and ADHD are not bad things to be, and they're just different. And I'm glad to be autistic and ADHD. So yeah, I think that I've taken in everything. I'll just check my list. Oh yeah, so my last thing is that my goal this weekend is to go see the cherry blossoms. It did snow today though, so I don't know how those cherry blossoms will be doing on Sunday. But I'm going to be doing that. I have to do my HelloFresh video, my last HelloFresh video, at least for a while, until I move to my new place. I am going to be going to that fidget toy store and buying myself a fidget, and now I have you guys holding me accountable for that. Yeah, I hope for the best, and I think that I've kind of gotten over myself, and I am very glad for that. So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Bye.